My name is Victoria Callahan. My presentation is on today's economic demands on stay-at-home parents. Today's economic demands versus past economic demands. As more mothers enter the workforce, the share of stay-at-home moms has also declined. In the late 1960s, about half of mothers with children younger than 18 stayed at home full-time, compared with only 3 in 10 today. More women than ever before are entering and staying in the workforce, and fathers are taking on more household work than ever before. These days, fewer and fewer American children are raised by stay-at-home moms. Both parents work full-time in nearly half of U.S. homes. Two-parent households, where both parents work full-time today, make up 46% of the population, compared to 31% in 1970. The cost of living today has gone up, but wages have not gone up with the cost of living. Parents that stay at home to care for children require income flexibility to help provide for their family. We suffer some of the harshest student loan burdens in history, and we also struggle to find stable employment to pay for higher education of both ourselves and our children, and meeting the demands of soaring housing costs is unbearable. Parents seek a shift to a less stressful job because they find it difficult to balance work and family life. There is an inadequate number of work from home or remote working opportunities. There needs to be more improvement in the understanding and support of employers for fathers in the workplace as well as for mothers. Many employers engage in gender discrimination because women are viewed as caregivers and therefore are less dedicated to their job. Employment discrimination is also becoming more common. When employers have employees that are parents, these people are passed over for employment or even for promotions. Parents now need their joint income to make things work due to the rising costs over the last 50 years. We must challenge the way the workplace is shaped so it's modernized and can accommodate today's families. We shouldn't be in a situation where family life suffers because of working practices first set out in the early part of the last century. Policies do not meet the demands of our modern family dynamics that today's workforce needs, and the economy demands as well. Employees need more flexibility from employers, a shift from traditional work environments of the past. If you look to the right, it can show the difference from 1960 and the year 2014 as a visual. The significance of this problem lies within the government as well as our employers. The male-dominated halls of our government fails to fund family-focused policies. Inflexible employers, rising living costs, and a society that penalizes women financially for taking time out to have children has led to what experts call the motherhood penalty. And as the Fawcett Society explains, it has meant that women were more likely to work part-time, to be in low-skilled jobs, and to make up 2/3 of the low-paid. So both private employers and public policymakers must take action to better support families with young children, addressing the lack of paid leave, low-paying jobs, irregular work schedules, employment discrimination, and shortage of quality, affordable child care that trap parents between the need to provide care for their children and the need to earn income to support them. If you take a look at the right, there is a chart that shows the difference between the stay-at-home and working mothers in 1970 and 2012, showing quite a big difference between the two. The costs and benefits of this problem to society deals with the stress caused from the problem and how it can lead to burnout. According to Harvard Business Review, the psychological and physical problems of burned out employees cost an estimated $125 billion to $190 billion a year in healthcare spending in the United States. The modern work environment needs to consider the special needs of this working population, changing its orientation from male dominance to gender neutrality and parenting-friendly behavior. The joint family and nuclear family unit both need to adjust to the needs of the working mother or father so as to allow a healthier family to develop. Federal policies intended to support working families are often outdated and inadequate. In response, some states and local governments have created policies to fill the gaps. In other locations, families suffer and inequality grows. Benefits of solving this problem on society include policies set in place to benefit all working parents in the U.S. and provide equality to all, plus personal benefits to the workers, such as financial rewards and improved family life, which in turn provides a healthier and productive workforce that produces more and adds to the economy. The government put in place policies to help assist working parents. 4 of them are FMLA, which is Family Medical Leave Act, the Earned Income Tax Credit, the Fair Labor Standards Act, and the Comprehensive Child Development Act of 1971. So FMLA was a landmark piece of legislation, and it was put into place in 1993. It provided eligible workers with up to 12 weeks of leave to care for a newborn, a newly adopted child, or a sick family member. Under FMLA, workers who took this would have a peace of mind knowing that they would be able to receive their health benefits, and they wouldn't have to worry about losing their job or using any leave that they had accumulated before they took FMLA. And the Earned Income Tax Credit was to help millions of families out of poverty every year. And in particular, it was used to work against poverty and boost income and employment for low-income workers. The Fair Labor Standards Act was put into place in 1938. It created a federal minimum hourly wage of 25 cents. Among its goals was to end starvation wages and to keep workers out of poverty. However, the FLSA does not automatically adjust the minimum wage to account for inflation, the cost of living, or other concerns. The minimum wage can only be raised by an additional act of Congress. And finally, the Comprehensive Child Development Act of 1971 would have created a national network of federally funded child care centers with a 2-year budget of $2 billion that included tuition subsidies for families, pediatric well child visits, meals, and staff training. However, it was vetoed and went through several changes until they reached a major expansion, and it had high quality, affordable child care, but it still remains a struggle for millions of parents. So with this issue, we really need more employer action. It's important for employers to realize that work-life balance is about more than just hours. Besides promoting flexibility, employers should also strive to improve the overall workplace experience for their employees. Attitudes on work-life balance will continue to evolve with cultural, generational, and economic changes. Flexible leaders can update or reinvent their workplace culture to try something new if employees report poor work-life balance. While maximizing employee productivity will always remain a constant goal, ensuring employees have the time they desire away from the office and enjoy their time spent in the office is the best way to retain talented employees and make them lifers, regardless of perceived generational differences. This also can help reduce stress and prevent burnout in the workplace. Flexible working is obviously key to making successful employees and employer relationships work. Employers should prioritize competitive compensation, comfortable office conditions, opportunities for professional growth, and opportunities for social connections. So possible solutions to the problems going to involve the employers and the government. It's important that employers encourage their employees to request flexible work arrangements that's going to allow them to balance work and personal responsibilities. They shouldn't be discouraged from requesting these flexible work arrangements, and they shouldn't be penalized for making these requests. Some flexible programs that they could offer their employees would allow them to start their workday anytime between 8 and 9:30 and then work up to 8 hours. They could offer them a flexible work week opportunities, which would be something like 4 10-hour days, telecommuting, work at home, or flex place work programs. These would enable employees to work from home or alternate office locations. It's also important that they ensure job openings, acting positions, and promotions are communicated to all eligible employees regardless of caregiving responsibilities. As far as the government, it's important that they ensure that one day every job advertised would have to state that the employer was open to flexible working. They also need to make amendments to accommodate modern workforce workers and protect parent workers, and implement new programs that would benefit working families. Studies have demonstrated that flexible work policies have a positive impact on employee engagement and organizational productivity and profitability. The practices discussed have the potential to benefit all workers, regardless of caregiver status. Furthermore, these practices have the potential to benefit employers, enabling them to recruit and retain talented, productive, committed employees. Finally, these practices will help ensure that all workers enjoy equal opportunity to compete, advance, and succeed in the workplace. Some of the short-term implications of solutions would be that it will help to assist the generations that are struggling now, and later adjustments can be made for future generations entering the workforce, and it'll help attract new workers. Some of the long-term implications of solutions would be having very loyal employees because they're offering something that people can't find everywhere, and it would help improve the economy by giving less unemployment. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.